Does it work as a Mario film? No, absolutely not. It's terrible. Does it work as a like weird 90s sci-fi film? Kinda,
But still
but
no.
also no. It's bad if it is. Yeah, it's just painful to watch as a Mario fan. It's just terrible. Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and joining me this week, the Luigi of my colour commentary booth, Corrina Mabey.
I don't know how I feel about that. Luigi's kind of a weak character. I said it. I don't care if I get hate for it. He's kind of a weak character.
In the games, mainly. In this movie, he's kind of the central character, which is weird.
Yeah. I've always been a Waluigi person. Especially like,
okay.
Yeah, when it comes to like Mario Kart, that's my go-to right there. Just don't get between me and that.
So if you couldn't tell, we're doing a Mario rewatch with the Super Mario Galaxy movie on the horizon. We're going back to where it all began and also kind of went off the rails by revisiting 1993's Super Mario Bros., the first live-action swing at the franchise, to see if this 1993 film is just misunderstood or was it a total mess and missing the platform on the jump.
Spoiler alert, it's the second. It's god-awful. And I kind of wish we had just watched the animated first Super Mario movie at this point instead of this.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another fun point. Corrina also went back and watched 2023's The Super Mario Brothers movie.
I did because I had never seen it.
For the first time because she'd never seen it.
Everybody kept telling me about it and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And then you sent it to me and I didn't watch it because it became available on Netflix. And then I dragged my feet for so long that it no longer was available on Netflix. But then it aired last night on actual NBC from like an evening special on a Saturday night. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That does make sense with the new movie being like a week away.
Yeah. So Chloe's been like ratting on me for like forever since it came out that I hadn't watched it yet. So I can say I've officially watched it and it was probably one of the better animated films that I've seen in a while. It reminded me a lot of Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
I loved it. I liked it better than the live action atrocity that you made me revisit. Because
yeah, so I had seen clips of this movie. I'd never sat through the whole lot, and I wish I could still say that.
Yeah, I bought this movie at the Walmart ages ago in the $5 bin. I was going
to say, was it in the discount bin? Because
it was. So
$5 is probably still too much.
Yeah, I don't know if even Walmart has them anymore because DVDs and Blu-rays are almost so obsolete now with streaming services. But yeah, back in the day, it was always fun to go to Walmart and find like the $5 bin and get like old movies to just like have like a fun movie night at home, without breaking the bank. And I bought this. I don't even know why I bought it because it was so god awful. And then I don't even know where it went to. I think I donated it to Goodwill. At one point, because it is not in my collection at all.
Unfortunately, this is not a fun movie night.
No, this was it's awful. I would have rather probably watched paint dry at this point. Like, for how many people are in this movie, this is like I feel like this is almost like a stain on so many people's like acting records. Like, I understand a paycheck's a paycheck, but it's just, oh man, John Leguizamo was fantastic as Luigi, and he could have had so much potential if this movie was written better.
Yeah. There are a bunch, like pretty much everyone that was in this movie says like it's the worst thing they've ever done and they wish they'd never done it. Like
ever.
One of the actors, I can't remember which one it was their kid asked them like, why did you do that? And they said, well, someone had to buy you shoes. And the kid went, I didn't need shoes that bad.
That's really bad.
So that's a great sign.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those movies that you just like want to pretend you weren't actually in. Like, oh no, I or you were totally like, strung out or something when you agreed to do that movie. Like, not in the right frame of mind at all.
Well, to be fair, Dennis Hopper and John Leguizamo were both like drunk pretty much the entire time.
You had to have been to get through it, probably.
They were like, yeah, we're drunk all the time. We drink in the trailer, then go and do our scenes, then go back, drink some more, and then come back and do another scene. It was like, oh god, yep, it
Maybe that
shows.
can drive you to drink. It's hard to find one of those. Like I've seen some pretty crap films, but this is pretty low on the totem pole of anything I've ever really watched, probably.
Yep. So this one is obviously based on the Super Mario Brothers game franchise by Nintendo and follows
Loosely.
two Brooklyn
Loosely,
very
please
loosely.
say that.
Two Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, stumble into a parallel dimension ruled by King Koopa, where they need to rescue Princess Daisy and stop a full-blown dimensional takeover by King Koopa. Like I said, this is the first live-action video game adaptation of the franchise, directed by Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, who people have said was an atrocious team to work with. Apparently very arrogant, thought their way was the only way, and it got so bad that even their agent told them that they needed to leave the set.
Oh Lord, that's really rough. Like super bad.
Yeah, when the director is told you need to just leave,
Yeah,
that's a bad sign.
yeah, that's really rough. And yeah, I can't even imagine like being like that, especially with how bad this movie is. Like I can't imagine them even trying to justify their behavior about it. Like you got no room to.
Another big reason for this being so bad was that it was constantly being rewritten, like right up and during filming,
Like on the fly.
and it got
like
so bad that it got so bad that the cast just didn't even bother reading the updates.
yeah,
They
they
were
were
like,
just
there's
like,
too
"All
many
right."
of these.
And just come
We're just
into
gonna
work
wing
the
it.
next day and be like, oh hey, like here's your script for the day. Thanks. Oh cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So watching this for the first time, the things that really jumped out to me was that it's like you think of the Mario franchise and you think bright, fun, playful stories, and levels and all of that sort of stuff. This movie is not bright. It's not playful. It's, if anything, it's like this weirdly grim, almost horror-esque dystopian sci-fi film. And I was like, what the hell is going on? This does not fit what you expect from a Mario movie. And then when you look at the 2023 version, you go, yeah, this is what it should have been.
I feel like when they go into the alternate dimension and Koopa is president, I feel like that is so reminiscent of Blade Runner, like the
Yeah.
entire like dystopian area of Blade Runner. And they
It
were
gets a
just
little closer to the games in that moment. There's lots
Yeah.
of Easter eggs in the background on signs and things, but it's
Sure.
still like,
it's nothing.
yeah, very Blade Runner, not Mario.
Mario. Yeah, there's nothing even like it would be different if like they even like changed the sets to represent certain things. Like when you see them going through corridors, that kind of represents like the big blocks that come down, the crushing blocks. With like
Yeah, it's the Bowser Castle.
yeah, yeah. So like the corridors are very reminiscent of that. And that's about it. Like there's nothing else. Like you never have cars in Mario, like except in Mario Kart, but like you don't have like taxis rolling around. You don't, like and they never go to a dance club.
Trucks.
Trucks, monster trucks, like police cars. Like
A
there's
dance club filled with actual strippers that they hired.
I don't know. The fact that like Mario is such a beloved family friendly game and you threw strippers into a movie that has that title in it is just that was a choice.
I'm surprised they got away with that. Nintendo clearly weren't on the ball with this one. They were just like, yeah, you can pay us and license this movie, and then I'm sure it came out and they were like, oh, okay. Which is why they never went and did any more movies until 2023. They're like, nope, not touching that.
I feel like this is just there were so many things wrong with this, like from the beginning to the end, because like even the beginning, like your biggest pet peeve with this is that they were in the wrong outfits the entire movie, like the whole time.
They were in the inverse colors. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, the whole time you were like, why are they in the wrong colors? This doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
why is Luigi in red and Mario's in green? What's going on here?
They were having an identity crisis. It's okay.
It's pissing me off.
It was really bad.
I will say, like, the set design is very well done. Like, I love the look of the sets if it wasn't a Mario movie.
Yeah. Yeah. This was.
Like, the set design looks great, and it was built in an abandoned cement factory.
Which is kind of cool.
It's called the Ideal Cement Factory in the woods outside of Wilmington, North Carolina. This was also used for a couple of other movies. Any idea which ones?
Should I know what other ones they were used for?
One of them you should. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I should? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
we watched it.
We watched it? When? Like a while ago?
A while ago.
Oh, no. I can't think of anything. Like, I'm trying to think of like warehouse.
There was a sequel that came out recently that you hated.
That I hate it? I have no clue. Just, I'm too tired to think. And I've consumed too much alcohol today.
So this is the same set that was used as the Shredder and Foot Clan hideout in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
Okay.
But the one that you should have known is it's the same location that was used for Top Dollar's nightclub in The Crow from 1994.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I'm a fan of that. You can't call the new Crow a sequel either. That's not how this works. No, sir. Take that back.
Yeah, technically.
Ooh, take it back.
But yeah, like I thought the set design was great. It was gritty. It was super detailed. Like there was no like just base sets.
No,
like you said, they brought in elements from the games to try and make it feel like a Mario movie, but it was just the tone didn't fit. Like it was dystopian, sci-fi, cyberpunky.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Bright, bubbly Mushroom Kingdom fun.
No, and like even like it doesn't even match a Bowser's Castle theme either, because that's just like a dark, dreary castle.
It's
like
a medieval castle.
This was like if you took Mario and put him in the middle of Gotham City. Like I didn't know that we needed a crossover of Batman and Mario, but clearly this movie was like, hey, we should probably maybe think about that. Yeah, it was so strange, and like it's like they wanted to incorporate certain things so people could still remember that it was a Mario movie, like the random mushroom that kept popping up, the bombs that kept popping up, things like that. But at the same time,
the outfits that they finally get an hour into an hour 40 movie.
Yeah, after they do their mustard and ketchup tuxedos in the strip club, which also 0 sense at all.
That also annoyed me. I wish, like, if they'd done that, it should have been like the fire flower outfits or something.
Yeah, it was a mess. That was a mess. And the script was awful too. Like, aside from the movie itself as a whole, the script was god awful, and like it was almost like making fun of itself at points when they were like, "Oh no, we'll never be able to get there in time," and then 2 seconds later, like, "Quickly, follow me, let's go." Like, do okay.
Yep. And it's so annoying because like when it first starts, it hits you with the 8-bit theme song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's from the games and so iconic.
Yeah,
and you get that immediate hit of nostalgia, like, oh, we could be in for something really cool here.
Yeah,
and then like 2 seconds later, you're like, nope,
nope, no, nay.
And then like some of the characters, so you had Mario and Luigi, like I said, wearing the wrong colors for almost the entirety of the film, which was mega frustrating for me.
Yes.
What did you think of sort of Daisy as the main sort of princess and being an archaeologist in Brooklyn?
Daisy's storyline just doesn't. It's very odd.
The storylines are very thin on this.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not necessary. She's born out of an egg. That makes 0 sense. And she's a descendant of a dinosaur. Also,
yep.
I don't know what drugs they were taking, but they must have been good to be like, oh yeah, we'll make this girl part dinosaur somehow, and that's gonna work for a Mario movie. Nope, don't know where they got that from. It's really annoying. I mean,
also weird that they chose Daisy of all the princesses.
Yeah, instead of Peach. And to be fair, like looking back at this, if you're trying to make this kind of like a multi-dimensional thing, honestly, that baby could have been Rosalina. Granted, that character didn't come out until Mario Galaxy, but still, like looking back, that could have been Rosalina character. But there's that. There's so many things wrong with the egg baby is what I'm going to call her, because it's just strange. And the fact that there's like a meteorite in the egg with her is also kind of strange. Yeah, it doesn't. None of that makes sense. The best part about
Yeah,
this
from
movie,
the opening, I was already confused because I was like, oh, the egg, that's going to be like a Yoshi. And then it's
a
not
baby.
Yoshi, it's a baby. I was like,
Mhm.
what? Is it Mario? Nope, not Mario. It's Daisy. I was like, what the? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we get Yoshi later, and he's just a miniature T-Rex that was like a really complex puppet, apparently.
Yeah, and honestly, he doesn't even look like a T-Rex. He looks like a baby raptor.
Yeah.
But that's probably why he's the best thing in this movie, is because he's adorable. And looking back, he would have been like the ultimate cash grab for merchandise if this movie had been made now. He would have been that one thing that they stick into a movie to make merch off of. Yeah, he's the best thing in this movie, though.
And then we also get the Goombas, who are like a total reinvention of what the Goombas are. They're just like big giant people with their heads shrunk and turned into dinosaur heads. Like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, and if you notice, it's so funny because when Toad, who's also a random musician, punk rocker, who plays the harmonica, it's again, I don't get it at all.
It's they made a movie and then slapped names on that are recognizable. There's no like connection to the characters apart from Yoshi is a dinosaur.
Yeah, Toad was never a bard that I can remember. Like, he's not a bard in Mario. He somewhat, I guess.
I've seen Toad play like a little guitar and ukulele thing at some points.
But that's not, yeah, and he's not. That's not his whole personality.
No.
But what I notice is when Toad gets whatever it is, de-evolved. That's what it is, because they evolve people and they de-evolve them because we're smart and that's what we come up with. Nothing super scientific. When he de-evolves, his hair, his spiral hair, stays on the Goomba head, and like all of them have kept their actual like facial like features, I guess, at that point, with their hairlines and stuff, which is weird.
It's so you can differentiate them.
Yeah,
it's got no logic behind it.
I wish, and with them going this route, though,
it'd be like doing it to me, and you just get a dinosaur with a mustache.
I mean, there's that. I think you'd make a very interesting dinosaur.
Rawr.
That was not a good dinosaur noise, but I'm gonna leave you with that. My other issue is that since they decided to go along with this guy as Toad, his hair should not have been a spiral. It should have just been spots to make it look like he was a mushroom.
Or like a mushroom dome head.
Yeah, something.
Like an afro carved into a mushroom shape.
Yeah, but no, we did a spiral to confuse people. And I'm like, okay, yep, that happened. Random people wanting this meteor piece. That was also a random stuff. Like some random lady just, I'm gonna steal this because it looks pretty, and takes off with it because that's a side quest. I guess that's how I'm gonna deviate that. I was like, it's a side quest. All these random characters are side quests in Mario, which was never really a thing either.
No, Mario's a straight up like linear platformer.
Yeah.
Apart from
the newer
until
ones.
You get to the Galaxy, like the 3D ones.
Yeah.
Up until then, they were just straight up linear 2D platformers.
Yeah. So instead they really
every now and then you jump down a pipe or go up a beanstalk and be in this old weird like alternate level, but like otherwise relatively straightforward.
Yeah. Also, that's another thing that is really irritating, is that they don't use any kind of pipes to travel through, really, except for one.
No pipes, no beanstalks, no brick fisting.
No, nothing like that. No, the question mark box ends up on a screen in a police car. There's that. Like, doesn't even make sense to put it there.
That's what I mean. It's like these little Easter eggs in the background that make you go, oh yeah, it's in the Mario universe. But
it doesn't make sense.
The grand picture isn't in the Mario universe.
And some of these cars look like they came out of Mad Max or something. That too. Like, just.
I did like the electric cars, like 19 what 90s
Yes.
electric cars are basically bumper cars.
Yeah. Yeah, they all
Like
have like the
Dodgems with
huge,
the like paddle thing that touches the electric lines.
yeah, like literal bumper car. And then they just like deviate off of it and then they just go soaring through things. I'm like, I don't know how that would work, but
None of
okay.
this makes sense.
None of this makes sense. Mushrooms save, well, not even mushrooms, fungus. There's just stretchy fungus everywhere that saves you. Like it reminds me of stuff like from the Poltergeist, when they're like in the other dimension and they come out and they're all gooey, that kind of stuff, all those kinds of things.
Like I said, like it's very horror inspired, which is
But
like that's not
strange.
Mario.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to do a Luigi's Mansion movie, that's no.
God, if they could get it right, that would be fantastic. And my kid would lose her ever living mind because that is her ultimate Mario game is Luigi's Mansion.
I think they'll get there the way they're going with the Mario franchise.
I would hope so. I think if Galaxy is well received, which I presume it's going to be because the first one was extremely well received, I see it eventually happening and spanning off probably.
I think ultimately they're building to like a Smash Brothers movie.
That'd be really cool. Almost like it's like Avengers except Mario, which is even cooler.
Yeah, because they've got the Link, like the Zelda live action is in production as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like that tie-in. They're teasing a bunch of Yoshi stuff in the Marios. So
yeah,
I think ultimately that's the plan, to do these individual one-off tentpole movies.
Yeah.
And then eventually bring them all together for the big payoff.
Yeah, they're going to have to be really picky and choosy, though, if they go down that route as to what characters they actually make side movies for, because I don't feel like every character is going to need one.
No. It's also interesting that they're doing Zelda is live action, not animated.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings.
How do you then merge those?
Yeah, well, because I get like, I mean, not that Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild were like necessarily live action / like real life kind of vibes, but they were more realistic than previous Zelda games. So it's kind of like evolved a little bit, but I don't know how they're gonna make it work. And I'm not holding my breath for it. I'm very reserved about the Zelda project. Is what I'm gonna call it, because
I'm waiting to see a trailer. Like the initial couple of set photos we've seen, I'm like, looks not too bad. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's either going to go down the path of like they're going to try and make it like a Lord of the Rings style, which is
I think that's definitely the way they're going. And
it's going to be it's a very fine line between ridiculous and great. So, please don't mess it up. But yeah, I think if a Luigi's Mansion movie came out, that'd be fantastic, regardless if it's animated or not. I don't care. I just think it would be fun.
Attention, trading card collectors! Are you ready to take your collection to the next level? Dive into the action with the limited edition Australian wrestling card, showcasing the most electrifying talents Australia has to offer. Imagine owning cards featuring legends such as Robbie Eagles, Shazza McKenzie, Shane Hayes, Madison Eagles, and many, many more. But that's not all. You'll also snag cards of the iconic referees, commentators, and announcers, just like me, Lord Andy Coyne, to truly capture the spirit of Australian independent wrestling. And as our homegrown talent continues to dominate the world stage, Ozrest cards are destined to become hot commodities. Not only will you be owning a valuable piece of wrestling history, but you'll also be supporting the amazing wrestlers and talented photographers behind the magic. So don't wait! Grab your Australian wrestling cards now at pariomagazine.com.au/Ozres cards. Order today and kickstart your collection with a bang!
A couple of the other things that I thought were small wins. I did like when they're escaping the police station. It's kind of like, well, this is like a fun platforming moment.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that fits in the Mario universe. And the visual effects, like, yes, some of the costumes and like the Goombas look terrible, but the going through that rock wall, crossing dimensions thing looks fantastic. The bit at the end where King Koopa dissolves
Yeah.
as well. Like those visual effects still look great by today's standards, let alone 1993 standards. They must have blown people's minds.
Yeah, that's probably the saving grace of this movie is how well done the graphics were in it. And maybe that's what really saved it, honestly, because everything else was pretty rough. But
I wouldn't say it saved it, but they're not bad. They could have been a lot worse and made the movie. They would have fit better if they were worse.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost misplaced, like you said, because the movie was so terrible but then the graphics
They're too
came out
good
pretty
for
good.
how bad this movie is.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird, and it's so bad to see how horrible this movie came out, because we can all like tell how horrible game adaptations and movies have come across, because, and especially the way older ones, like Double Dragon was not great. I know you have probably a hate relationship with the original Mortal Kombat and a Mortal Kombat Annihilation from the 90s that we're going to rewatch this year. Wait, you've never seen them, have you? Have you ever seen the original Mortal Kombat?
I've seen them. They're not great.
They're fantastic. You shut up. It's probably one of the better
To be fair,
ones.
the most recent Mortal Kombat
Was awful.
not great either.
Yeah, that's awful. But yeah, so you see like how terrible game adaptation movies are, and I just they're much better today.
Yeah,
and so but every time a new one
there's still some dodgy ones like Until Dawn.
Yeah, every time one is announced, I'm always afraid it's going to have the stigma of the classic ones that came out, because it's so hard to get them right, because the fan base is so massive, and especially like with this particular one with Mario Brothers, it's like that's a generational.
Everybody knows Mario.
Yeah, it's a generational franchise.
Like you ask people to name a video game and they go, "Oh yeah, Mario."
Yeah, my mom, who doesn't even play my mom's never touched a console in her life. That is not her thing. It's never been her thing. She knows who Mario is. Like everybody knows who Mario is, regardless of how old you are. So the fact that they
he has a whole goddamn theme park.
A land in a theme park, a land in
Same
a
thing.
theme park. It's
Same thing.
close enough, and it's on its way to getting more. But yeah, so the fact that they really fumbled the franchise initially, I feel like it kind of set like a really low bar for movies, and maybe that's why other video game movies were tolerated, but none of them really come out that great, honestly.
Yeah, they have got better in recent times, but I still always go into video game adaptation movie.
Yeah.
With very low expectations of like, this is going to suck. And then when it doesn't absolutely suck like this did.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Or then you get one like, the Uncharted movie was actually pretty good. It wasn't an Uncharted movie. It was just an Indiana Jones movie, but that's what Uncharted is.
I've never played Uncharted. I actually just enjoyed Uncharted, though, because I feel like Tom Holland really set into that character. Like, I've seen enough of the gameplay of Uncharted to know.
He doesn't. He's just Tom Holland being...
I don't know.
Drake.
He's got that pizzazz about him. I don't know. I feel like he could be like a young Indiana Jones if he really wanted to be. But maybe I'm biased because I really like Tom Holland. He's great. But like, I don't know. I love the Tomb Raider movies. I know a lot of people hate the Tomb Raider movies, and I'm not talking about the newer one. I'm talking about the Angelina Jolie ones. Like, I actually enjoyed those movies, and I've played Tomb Raider. And for me, even though they were kind of exaggerated in certain parts of it, and she's not my favorite person, I still think that they came out well. It was a decent adaptation for when it came out. So yeah, there's always like hit or misses, and it's so hard to be excited for things to come out knowing the history. But because Mario is such a kid-friendly animated kind of thing, I think that's why the newer Mario movies are doing so well, is because you're taking an animated film or an animated game and putting it into an animated film, not making it live action.
Yep. I am intrigued by that new Tomb Raider one. We'll see how that goes. But this upcoming one, the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie.
Yes.
I'm actually super amped for that because of how good 2023 was. Like it hit all the nostalgia beats, had great music, looked incredible.
There's humor in it. There was like super funny, dreary humor, like jokes that parents got that kids might have not really caught on to, and then other stuff, which I love.
The classic Illumination and Pixar thing of like, this is a joke that like kids will get on a base level
Yes.
and adults will get on a much deeper level.
Yeah, like Shrek and Minions are notorious for that. And like Shrek was DreamWorks, but Minions obviously is Illumination. And they've all had that consistency of we're gonna throw in some jokes so all people, like for everybody of all ages, can actually like enjoy what they're watching and not just be stuck in like a kid's movie.
Yep. One of the other things that like we spoke about, like there is just no cohesion or any sense of making sense in this movie. There's a random reference to WrestleMania, and I was like, "What?"
I love that.
Where did that come
I
from?
love that. I loved that for you. I love that for you. Also, like, I'm sorry, but like, there are so many things wrong with like Koopa. Like Dennis Hopper, he's a great actor when it comes to being a villain, but like his character design was awful. Like all of them were awful, and it was like he did like that half thing where
And
he
it's
would,
also,
like,
why was it King Koopa and not Bowser? Why was he not Bowser?
that's a story for another day because I just no. But the fact that like
It's like, yeah, it's the same thing as the Daisy thing. Why is it Daisy, not Peach? Why is
yeah,
it
it's like this was the
Koopa,
side
not Bowser?
character. This is the side character movie that nobody like wanted to talk about. But like Koopa being like a weird lizard dinosaur, even though he said he was a T-Rex, like he doesn't look like a T-Rex when he comes out, like at all. He's just a janky
When they
looking,
de-evolve him.
yeah, he looks like a janky weird dinosaur, and I just don't get it. And his fake, like his twisties that he has in his hair, like it doesn't even go with like the character design. Like they could have given him so much better hair to go with a Koopa design, but no, we're just gonna give him fake cornrows and gel them to the skies. Like, oof, it's a lot of hair gel.
One thing that I did find fun was the de-evolution guns that we see at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what they were?
No, they just look like little claw machine guns, honestly.
They're the Super Nintendo light guns painted.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So they're the Duck Hunt guns repainted.
That's, you know what? Good on them.
At
for
least
trying to
that's a
keep it
cool
cheap.
tie-in.
Yeah.
But also,
I
it
mean,
would have been funnier if they just didn't paint them. If they just like painted over where it said like Super Nintendo on them.
yeah, it probably would have been more
Leave
on
them
point
grey
for
and
this.
orange.
It would have been more on point for how messy this movie was if they had just done that.
So yeah, this, like we said, was pretty bad. And the box office reflected how bad this was.
Oh yeah, I believe
Because
it.
the estimated budget was between $42 and $48 million.
Okay, that's a lot of
How much
money
do you
for
think it-
the 93.
How much money do you think it made at the box office?
Maybe like 12 million, if that.
It made 38.9.
Oh, that's generous.
So it was under what they spent and generally needed to make double to break even. So they lost a lot of money on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't feel like this did too well for them, and it's probably why they just never ever talk about doing another one. Not to mention,
And also because it was received so badly, like that's why Nintendo pulled back and like didn't do anything in Hollywood for over a decade. For
yeah,
almost 2 decades.
it's also probably why it took so long for licensing approvals to go through for other things eventually, because it's a lot. Like that is Mario it's Nintendo. Like that is Nintendo. Nintendo could put out 1,000,001 games. It doesn't matter what it is. Their staple will always be Mario. And the fact that like these people were given an opportunity to showcase that and fumbled it this hard.
Yeah. And yeah, like Nintendo are notoriously strict on their licensing. Like they are much more open to licensing today,
Yeah.
but they've always been very like hands-on with what you do with it. So for them to
Mhm.
give them this license and then kind of just let them do what they wanted and then it's this,
Yeah.
I understand why their sort of philosophy shifted to now being much more like, we're going to be on your ass and make sure this fits with our branding, not
Mhm.
what you don't just get to do what you want.
No, and I'm sure that when talks came to Universal about initially acquiring like the licensing agreement for Nintendo, specifically with Nintendo World being in their parks and stuff like that, I'm sure that like they had a lot of red tape to go through and a lot of like, boundaries that they could not cross and things that they had to do to a T to make sure that it wasn't a fumble at all, because
Yeah,
that's
and
a
like
lot.
our
It's a big
artists are going to be
responsibility.
involved in this and making sure that everything is aesthetically the way we envision this.
Absolutely. And like I
And the
still
menus and everything, like all of that would have been.
oh yeah.
We
I
got to sign
haven't-
off on every little piece.
I haven't experienced Nintendo World yet. It's still like, and it's just way too unattainable at the moment. But I do know people who have gone multiple times, and they just said it's like you stepped into the video game. And like that's what I feel like you should feel like when you're watching these movies, is that you're literally watching, almost like you're watching a game. Because when I watched the 2023 Mario movie, it was just like I was watching gameplay almost of like a new game.
Mhm.
And I loved that. And also like the casting was on point for the 23 movie. Whereas the 93 movie, like, it's okay, but
No,
it's not
it's
great.
bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but
Like, when the 2023 one was announced and they were like, oh, it's going to be animated, I was like, well, that's a bit disappointing. Like, I would have loved to see a redo of a live action Mario, because I think you could do something really cool with it.
sure.
But this movie definitely was like, nope, we're never doing that again. Which is
Yeah.
why I'm shocked they're doing live action Zelda.
Yeah, and again,
At least
that's why
Zelda, I
I'm
guess,
so-
is a little bit easier to do.
Yeah, I'm really afraid of Zelda. I don't want to get my hopes up and be super disappointed with it, because yeah, that's going to be a really hard thing for me to accept if it's really shitty.
So one of the last things I wanted to chat about, we spoke about the platforming part in the police station.
Mhm.
There was a cameo idea for that was scrapped,
Oh, good.
and it was going to be Bruce Willis crawling through one of the air vents as a sort of homage to Die Hard.
Why? That could have saved this movie. Do you understand that? Literally, this movie could have been saved.
I have a
by
feeling
one
Bruce
cameo.
read the script and was like, I'm good. No thanks.
Probably. He was probably like, I'm not that poor. Like, I don't need that paycheck. I can.
Yeah, I'm
survive
coming
without
off the
it.
Die Hard franchise. I'm fine.
I'm good.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Good God. Yeah. Anything. Like, this movie could have used so many things. You know what this movie could have used? Now I can say this. R.I.P. It could have used Chuck Norris. If Chuck Norris had been in this movie, he probably could have saved it.
I don't know. I don't think there's any saving for this one, unfortunately.
I don't know. It's so bad. I'm so glad that I never have to watch it again now. I'm so glad that you've been exposed to it thoroughly. You've been scarred for life, as I have. Yeah, I think that I think this was like, I know that I made you watch a musical the other week, so I feel like this was accurate payback for me making you watch that. You made me watch this. So now we are even.
So, in terms of a rating and final thoughts, what would you give Super Mario Bros. From 1993?
Do I have to give it a rating? Can I give it a
Out of
0
5.
star?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I'll be nice. I'll give it a half star because I love Yoshi, because he's a dinosaur. That's about the only thing that I like about it. So I'm going to give it a half of a star. That's what I will do.
Yeah, I would just say that I love the production design. This script is just genuinely baffling of like, what were they even thinking? Like, this has nothing to do with Mario. So like, does it work as a Mario film? No, absolutely not. It's terrible. Does it work as a like weird 90s sci-fi film? Kinda.
But still,
But
no.
also, no. It's bad if it is. Yeah, it's just painful to watch as a Mario fan. It's just terrible. So I gave this 1. Just because of the production design of like, yeah, that the sets are cool. But everything else, terrible. Don't
Yeah.
watch this.
You're
If you want to watch a Mario movie to get ready for
Galaxy.
the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, God,
Yeah.
that's a title. Watch 2023 version. 'cause
Or
it's
just go
great.
play the games. Like, if you go play Super Mario Galaxy, you'll be totally ready for the movie, or Super Mario Galaxy.
I don't think
2.
you will. Because watching that trailer, they're pulling from
There's a
all
lot.
the Mario
There's a lot.
games. They're pulling
But
from everything.
I'm biased because Galaxy is my favorite Mario game. It was Mario 64 used to be my favorite Mario game, but then Galaxy came out and there was a new exciting game to be had. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so glad that we never have to watch this again in our lifetime ever. But I think that, you know what? I think people should at least give it a shot. And I only say that because I had to spend almost an hour and a half of my life watching it. So everybody else should have to spend an hour and a half of their life watching it too.
No. If you have never seen this, ugh, thank you. Well done.
Consider
Avoid
yourself
it.
lucky.
Yeah, you win. You win at life. Otherwise, thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow Corrina on Instagram at Miss Corrina Renee. And where else?
And at living_dead_books. I've been taking a break because it was spring break, so there hasn't been anything new posted yet, but there's a couple that are coming out and in the pipeline. So let you in.
Brilliant. And you can follow me on social media at JMS Media and at Pario Magazine. If you check out the website later this week, there will be a The Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie review.
That is really a long title. Holy crap.
Yeah. All right, we will catch you all next week.